All right, Jamie, hello, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. So you're going to talk me through buying an NFT piece of art. Now, I know only so as much as you've told me about your own experiences buying NFT art and don't actually know how to do it. And there is a process, right? Because you have to convert to the currency and so forth. And before I even outline the process that I don't know, I think I'd just prefer for you to begin to walk me through it. So what do I
Okay.
do if I am just a random human being interested in owning a piece of this new digital art world of NFTs?
Well, Damien, thank you for the opportunity to talk to the viewership. And might I just say that I'm so happy to share this with you to get you started on this journey.
Thank you.
Not you, with the viewership.
Oh, see, okay.
So it's not that complicated. Ultimately, there are probably other better ways to do this, but the way that I did it was to go to Coinbase.
Okay, so I'm going to
And
share my screen and I'm going to go to do this. So I'm just going to open my browser and share that. Coinbase.com.
there.
Okay. So I'm
So
going to
you
have to
go
create.
here, you put in information. It's going to, one thing that'll be fun for your viewers is you'll put in some sensitive bank account information.
Okay, I will do that. I will do that on here. Maybe we should ask for like a crowdsource for my password. People can volunteer like what password I should use, and then I'll use that password. And that way anyone can access my Coinbase account whenever they want.
That's good.
Well, that's good
And,
for our viewers because then they can themselves actually participate.
yeah.
I am going to pause our screen share for a moment so that I can actually create an account. And then I will re-share my screen after I have entered my very highly sensitive password. But I do have now free $5 if I verify my photo ID. It's all like a lot of information, I guess, to give over to a website that I don't know very much about, but
You
here we
have to do
go.
your.
So verification email. Okay, now it's asking me for some additional information, including what I'm going to use it for. I think I'm going to say online purchases. It's asking me for my birthday and year, which is very sensitive information. My source of funds, inheritance, I wish. I think it's going to be my occupation. Now, Jamie, maybe you know this, maybe you don't. Coinbase is a place to purchase different cryptos, or is it just one kind of crypto?
No, you can purchase a bunch of different kinds.
Okay, so now it's asking me to add a payment method. Am I ready to buy my first crypto? Maybe I'll just share my screen quickly so you can see what this looks like. So when you're signed up for Coinbase, you actually see this page. It's telling me hello, which is nice. Then it asks me if I'm ready to buy, add payment method. I've already verified my account by providing extremely sensitive information. I suppose I'm going to be connecting a bank account now. And then I will maybe eventually get my $5 in free Bitcoin, which is going to be amazing. So I'm going to add a payment method. And it's going to suggest invest large amounts or small amounts with a debit card. You're going to be allowing me to buy up to 400, which is fine for
I
the
think you're going to
purposes.
have to maybe do at least 300 because just with the gas.
Okay, so I'm going to do 300 one-time purchase, and I'm
You
now
don't want Bitcoin, you want Ethereum.
right. Everyone, careful here because oh, here. Okay, yeah. I almost for a second I thought I hit buy and then I was done already. Which
That's going to be
then,
great for the video, for the blog.
yeah. So
Like where
you
you're
bought.
like, oh my God,
Oh my God, I accidentally bought Bitcoin. No, so we're going to
Ethereum,
talk about why
ETH.
Ethereum in our podcast. Everyone who is going to listen and love our podcast will know that we're going to talk about why Ethereum in particular as a blockchain, NFTs had to be Ethereum, and actually it's going to help us talk about what a blockchain is and what cryptocurrency is and what NFTs are. Like it's going to help us sort through all of that. But for now, for the purposes of what we're doing and this how-to little tutorial, we're just going to do Ethereum. James, what is the difference between Ethereum and Ethereum Classic? Do you happen to know?
Let's talk to your to our listenership about that later.
Okay, so
I think it's
Ethereum,
probably a fork.
you think it's a fork
Yeah.
is the difference?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know what that means, but we'll, I guess, talk about that later. So we're going to do Ethereum here, the blue new Ethereum, apparently, because there's an old Ethereum, classic Ethereum, which maybe it's like, you know, classic Nikes versus newer Nikes, be one metaphor.
Yeah, I
All
think
right, so I'm doing $300.
classic Coke.
Classic Coke is also a
That's
thing.
probably a better metaphor, right?
Yeah, classic Coke versus, I think Coke is still the Coke though. Like, I'm not sure that there's actually a difference between new and classic Coke. Anyway, Ethereum.
Well, they changed it. There was a split, and then they went back to the classic Coke.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see. I see.
But I don't think that's happening anytime with the Ethereum and Ethereum Classic.
Okay, but when we talk about Ethereum versus classic Ethereum, we should continue the metaphor between Coke and classic Coke, because I think our viewers are probably
Listeners.
want us to do that. So this is a $300 one-time purchase. I'm going to preview the buy. Now, I bet you I'm going to guess my credit card's going to freak out and ask me to verify this. But okay,
now
so
note that there's a fee, right? $11.50.
okay, and yes, and thank you, Jamie, because one of the kinds of recurring conversations we're going to have is about these fees that are attached to the various steps of buying NFTs and what that actually means and implies for investment in NFTs and for the future of crypto markets in general, because different crypto coins have different amounts of fees and gas associated with them. Gas is not just an Ethereum thing, right? It's a Bitcoin, it's a crypto.
Well, I think gas is a particular term that's used with Ethereum, although
Okay.
I think other coins have a similar concept. But the whole gas thing with Ethereum, it's kind of fun because it's Ethereum and gas, you know.
Oh, right. Okay.
Like Ether.
Ether and gas. Thank you for pointing that out, which I had not previously put together. So
well, it's funny because you sent me all these things to read, but it seems like I'm more knowledgeable on the topic.
I think that you have invested in actual cryptocurrency and I have not. So I would expect you to know more than I do.
Huh, that's interesting. Okay. I thought we were going to come in with an equal database of information.
No, I think we do just maybe have different ideas about different amounts of knowledge about different.
Well, actually, it's pretty clear that there are certain things that you don't know that I know.
Like you knew one.
It's not different ideas. It's like you knew no idea versus an idea.
But it's like you knew what gas was and that's it. And like now you're like attacking me that I don't know anything. So it's $300. I'm gonna buy this now. Right. So the fees already taking $11.51. We're gonna monitor how the fees and so forth kind of chip away at our actual investment here. So we're buying this now. It's authorizing this. Successfully purchased. I now have a 0.17 Ethereum. Excellent. So I'm going to continue. Trade imminently. Don't wait for my bank, even though it's going to take 5 days. Okay, view transaction. So here we go. I have bought Ethereum 0.1762 Ethereum, which is $295. Oh, and I saved some of that right here. The fee is less. I only paid $4.40 in a fee, right? Which is better. Okay, what do I do now, James?
So you have to wait for 5 days.
All right. So I cannot buy an NFT today?
No.
Oh, why didn't you tell me that we'd have to wait 5 days to do this?
I don't know.
I mean, it's just a small detail that there's a 5-day waiting period between when you can buy Ethereum and actually purchase an NFT. So now that we have the Ethereum, that we bought some Ethereum, we're going to set up a Coinbase wallet. Is that what you just called it?
Yep.
So we're going to Google and we're going to
so you actually, in order, as I understand it, in order to buy NFTs, you actually need a wallet. It doesn't necessarily have to be Coinbase, but Coinbase, because we're using Coinbase to buy the cryptocurrency, there you go. It makes sense, I think, to use a Coinbase wallet.
Okay, so Coinbase wallet is a way to actually use, so why do we need, can you in simple terms explain why we both need a wallet and a Coinbase account? What is why do we need this?
So I don't know this for an absolute fact, but I think the reason you need a wallet is in order to actually store your NFT.
I see. So
So I
is
think
that,
if you don't have a wallet, you can't, because it needs to actually go into a particular account. And Coinbase, I think, as an entity is not set up like that. It's only the wallet that can do that.
interesting. Just owning Ethereum on a Coinbase in Coinbase, which is just the marketplace for cryptocurrency, owning Ethereum in there is not enough to actually purchase an NFT, which needs to be stored separately, and probably because it's a Bitcoin asset that actually has to have some attachment to
Cryptocurrency, not a Bitcoin.
cryptocurrency that needs actually a token, right? The token itself, which maybe Coinbase wallet actually maybe stores the token versus Coinbase accounts, your Coinbase account.
Coinbase, I think, is more for just investing. Like it's not necessarily for NFTs.
Awesome. So get it now. Let's see, get it now.
In order to purchase my first NFT, it would not let me purchase it without a wallet.
Okay.
I had to send it through a wallet. And I think, again, that's because it had to send the NFT token to that wallet.
So I'm actually on my phone now. I just am downloading Coinbase wallet. It said if shown a secret, I'm going to be shown a secret recovery phrase on the next screen. The recovery phrase is the only key to your wallet. It will
It's
allow
a bunch of words. Would you like to share the screen with that information?
You can't see it because of it says.
Oh, no, I think people would be more interested to get the wallet recovery.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So I'm going to tell them my recovery phrase in a second. The recovery phrase is the only key to my wallet, and it will allow me to recover access to my wallet if my phone is lost or stolen. Now, this is an important point, Jane, because one thing that we realized that we've learned on our little mini journey into the world of cryptocurrency and NFTs is that actually you can just lose them, right? Like if you lose your computer and you lose all of your kind of login information, it's like game over, right? It's done. You've lost, let's say.
And I think that so Coinbase, you can't lose. Like, I think that that's it's like an investing platform, but I think the wallet is, you can actually lose because it's a particular sort of drawer, I guess you could say, in the cryptocurrency realm or Ethereum.
Right. It's almost like a lockbox, right? It's a lockbox with a particular code that you have to, I guess you call that a combination. And if you lose the combination, whatever's in your box is actually permanently can be gone. So this is an interesting part of all
there, but it's just inaccessible.
Right, it's inaccessible. It still exists, but it's completely inaccessible. We've heard stories, people have kind of read and heard about stories of people who own hundreds of thousands of dollars in NFTs, and they've just literally lost the key, which is kind of a hilarious anachronism to all of this, which is just kind of like you can still just misplace your NFTs, which in this whole digital brave new world, you would think would be impossible, but it is possible to just lose them. So I'm going to click here that I understand if I lose my recovery phrase, I will not be able to access my account. I'm going to back up now. It says, these 12 words are the keys to my wallet. Back them up on the cloud or back them up manually. Do not share them with anyone. So it's giving me 12 random words, which it says I should back up into the cloud or back up manually. Okay, it's now telling me, it's giving me the screen, my account. It says $0 in my account, obviously. So how do I now get my Coinbase account connected to my Coinbase wallet?
I think actually you'll be able to, you have the app now, so you can actually just use the app to take it from your Coinbase account.
I don't think it's connected to my Coinbase
into your wallet.
Connect to Coinbase. Okay, now I'm looking in settings and it actually says connect to Coinbase. So I'm clicking on that, connect to my Coinbase account. It's having me sign in to my Coinbase account. Now, this information is my kind of standard login information that I just used to sign up for my Coinbase account. And then the password that I used for that. Okay, I'm just gonna actually make myself a note so that I know what my codes are. What I do is I put all my passwords in a sticky note, so that if someone again steals my computer, they can go into the sticky note. Now I have my authorization and I've connected my Coinbase to my wallet. It says return to Coinbase wallet to finish signing in, which I have. Authorizing it. Okay, unconfirmed device. Please confirm this device to access my account. Please click the confirmation link in my email. Okay, confirmation link in my email. New device access, I authorize this computer. So now that Coinbase and Coinbase Wallet are talking to one another, it's a little bit odd that those processes are so distinct, or that these apps are actually completely distinct this way. You'd think that in Coinbase, you would just be able to have a wallet. It seems odd, but again, as we were saying, it must be something about the actual technology of the tokens themselves and how they get stored, that they're not actually, that they want you to have a separate platform for doing that. Interestingly, it's also making me take a picture of my driver's license. Did it have you do that?
Yep.
What do you think that, so what is this about? Like, they really don't want people to, I guess, commit fraud.
Yes. And also, yeah, I don't know. I think it's, so you get, make sure tax wise to be on their ledgers, et cetera. But I don't know why you'd actually have to give them a driver's license picture necessarily, probably just for fraud purposes.
It says that I now have this in my wallet, Ethereum, $294.
Oh, did it actually transfer?
So it transferred, it didn't charge me anything.
Really?
Did it charge you?
I feel like it did, but maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, things are, one of the things that's interesting about this world is that the rules are the rules, and the kinds of, especially like around gas and what transactions and transaction fees are changing almost constantly. So I wouldn't be surprised if a week ago or 3 weeks ago, it charged you something, and it didn't charge me, who knows? But I have that money in my wallet. James, you were telling me that there are lots of different ways, and we're going to talk to our viewers about what ways they can actually go and start. And this will be one of our early probably podcast number 3 or 4, episode 3 or 4. We're going to talk about how do you actually, of all the stuff there is to buy out there, NFT wise, and in terms of NFT art, and specifically, there are lots of different ways to get started and kinds of marketplaces to think about and to kind of get a sense of what's worth buying and what's not worth buying. We're going to talk about all of that. So that's not a conversation for right now. For right now, we're just trying to give people an example of the process itself. So we're going to jump forward to one specific place that you think is worth looking to actually just locate something for me to buy right now. And what would you recommend?
So you're looking for an NFT marketplace at this point, right? So to be clear,
yeah,
I would say go to OpenSea.
But so now I'm going to go to OpenSea. So I have 2 things open here. I have Super Rare and I have OpenSea. And you think I should do OpenSea?
Yeah, I think, well, so the thing is, as I understand OpenSea, it's almost like the Google of NFTs. So okay. OpenSea, if you find something on OpenSea, it may actually be on a different marketplace like Super Rare or Rareable. Or
I see. So it's actually a search engine for NFTs.
Right.
All right. So what do I do? I'm staring at this search bar. What do I do here?
Well, so I think this is more involved, but I think you would explore. And I think you'd say that you have, however, it may be that you could search. I imagine you can search for a certain amount of money. Right. And actually, so if you look here as of interest, you can see different collections that you can potentially, like Rareable, for example, is a collection. So you can see all these things. You can see the prices of the things.
So now, James, can we just talk about a quick distinction here? Whoa, this is blowing my mind. Look at this canvas life. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Wow.
You could buy it, Dame. It's 0.1 Ethereum. You could buy it if you like it.
It's just in my
Click on it.
brain. It's like
Click on it.
I'm having problems perceiving it, like having my brain perceive it.
Yeah, you
Sale
can
ends
buy it
in
for
2 days.
$167. Pretty cool.
I mean, it's pretty cool, right? So obviously the question, there are lots of questions about buying art in general, and we're not going to have this conversation right now, but you know, you had some mix or some complicated mix of what you think is a good investment in terms of return on investment, what people think is hot, what people think is up and coming, and so forth. And then there's a hunch or some kind of connection to the art itself, something that you actually feel and enjoy aesthetically about the art. I know neither I have no sort of preference on either of these things at this moment. I don't actually know what I'm looking for, although this canvas life number 521 happens to jump out at me because I think it's cool to watch these figures melting.
Well, I'm going to say one other thing, which we'll talk about this more later, but what's interesting to me about it is it's not reselling. It's actually an original sale. So it may be something, you know, I think these original sales currently are good deals.
Here's another one. This is called
Yeah,
canvas
exactly.
life number 518.
Yes, this is a different, same maker, but a different pattern.
Cool. Okay, Jane, well, hello again. It's a new day in America, and I'm wearing different clothes. It's been a while since we talked last, and I had to wait for my money to get transferred into my Coinbase, needed the money to, I had to wait for the money to actually transfer into Coinbase and appear. And now it's available to be transferred into my Coinbase wallet. And again, just to remind people, there's Coinbase, which is where you just actually transfer currency dollars into Ethereum. And then you have to do an extra step for a platform to buy NFTs, like in a platform like OpenSea, which is one of the largest marketplaces for NFTs. We actually have to move our Coinbase funds into something called Coinbase Wallet, which is a separate holding.
It's the software versus the currency or the exchange.
Right. Okay. So one is just an exchange for like investing in the currency itself, which is the Coinbase. Am I right? And the Coinbase Wallet is actually what you need before you can purchase an NFT.
Depending on where you purchase, but in general, yes, you need the wallet to be able to use different things to be able to transfer money around, etc. Generally, you know, depending on what you're trying to do.
So lots of different things popping up here. I want to go to something that actually has some history to it. A lot of this, as we've, I think, talked about on our podcast, is that a lot of it is people just trying to make a quick buck. That is part of the nature of these marketplaces. So you do need to be a little bit careful that you're not buying something that someone literally made in 3 minutes and uploaded, and that they're going to try to collect $200 from you.
Well, but I think that, you know, yes, it's true, but it's also, some of these things are not that expensive, and it's just sort of fun to, you know, spend $50 or $100 to own like something. I mean, this is not a serious thing, but it's nice to, you know, that's part of the whole idea of NFTs, to be like a collector, right?
right.
So you have your own portfolio of what you're buying. OpenSea, I think it gets a point to make here, which I think you're illustrating nicely by just wandering, is if you go to OpenSea and you don't really know what you're looking for, it's overwhelming because it's a huge space.
Right.
So
like the Google of NFTs, right?
Yeah, it's like a clearinghouse. And
right.
you know, a lot of these things are actually listed on other platforms, and they also can be listed on OpenSea, or they get bought on a different platform and then transferred over.
Here are some that are actually fairly expensive. This is 170 Ethereum, which means it's $507,000.
Look at the price history.
So it has never been bought. Is that
so this is an example of someone trying to just, you know, bamboozle the system. They're asking for $500,000 for something that has no,
you know, if it sells, more power to them. Now this has one sale. These charts can be a little bit misleading because this literally, I think, has just been sold once. So it looks like it's like the skyrocketing value of this thing. But in fact was just sold one time. Does it look like
Twice. Looks like it was sold twice.
it was sold twice?
When it
So
was created at 0.21, and then if you go up,
it was listed at 0.3. Someone offered 0.28 for it, which I don't think it was sold for that. Then it was sold for 0.3, listed for 1, but then it was only bought once.
yes. Now, also it was bought when it was originally minted at 0.21, and then it was bought
And it was sold
by someone else at 0.3 later.
Right. So someone made, I don't know what that is. Maybe
Well, it's a third, but it's not even a third because there are commissions or
In
there are
dollars.
gas fees too.
they maybe made $100 or something like that. And now it's being listed for 0.6. So you can kind of see, you know, in these charts how that works. Most of them, because of for the reasons we were just discussing, most of them do not have a huge amount of history. Let's see if we can find a Beeple. So these are all going for lots of money. Well, this one is.
So an interesting thing, and I don't know how this relates to anything, but someone hacked the Beeple Everydays.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
and they're reselling them.
You're right.
Which again gets to this big question around ownership, and I don't know whether or not maybe that's some of what we're seeing here.
We are going to talk about this in our conundrums episode 3, about whether or not the integrity of NFTs and what it means when they're quote unquote hacked, and I don't even know what that means in the sense that, as we've talked about in the podcast, everybody knows that these can be reproduced. That's sort of the premise of this, right? That they can be copied and pasted a million times. That doesn't mean that you own it just because you own that you can download the image, and even if that image is exactly the same as the original. So the interesting thing about the hacking is I'd love to know what in this instance that even means. But yes, this is the hacked version of this Beeple that sold for a huge amount of money, and now people are re-releasing them in these smaller and trying to make money off of them. Wow, this is $895. Yeah, so many of these things have literally never been bought or sold, and they're the first time that, you know, it's a little bit like, at what point are people going to, is this just devaluing the whole thing? Because eventually, if there's so much art that has never been bought and sold and it just floods the whole thing, I mean, at what point is anyone going to buy something if you have no chance of it reselling? And I actually read something recently that one of the reasons why some art collectors don't want to invest in NFTs, traditional art collectors, is because they think that the market is already too flooded, and that they think it's going to continue to be flooded in a way that nothing's going to accrue to very much money except for these few star artists who get a lot of attention. Everyone else is just going to kind of be like stuck in these one-off huge amounts of these things that are being generated and trying, you know, that people are trying to sell for hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
But you know, the irony of that is that is not that different from the real art world. You know, how many things are, oh, there's another dog. How many pieces of art are produced, but how many really have value? And, you know, there's always this allure of finding a diamond in the rough, right?
Well, I think I just found one.
I think that other one was better.
Don't you think I should try to find one, though, that has, to our point that we're talking about right this second, doesn't it? I mean, just barely like one minimum kind of point of advice for buying one of these things, don't you think would be try to find something that has already been bought or sold? I mean, already been bought and sold once, as just a very general rule.
I think there's a broad heading of, I mean, I think a little bit what you said before, which is I think if you're smart, you buy from amongst, I mean, if it depends on what you're trying to do. If you just want to have like cool stuff, look at things, look at the price, and if you like it, just buy it, just to have it as it's kind of like a collector card in a way. If you're actually trying to use this to like as an investment or to make money or to be impressive, then I think you need to look to particular artists that are, I think you can try and do it other ways, but the best advice is look at particular artists. Maybe there are 15 or 20 sort of top flight artists in the cryptos or the NFT space. And those would be the people that I think their art will retain value and potentially go up.
Right. And we're going to talk more about that next in the podcast. And in episode 2, we're going to talk more specifically about some of these artists and where to find them. Look at this chromie squiggle, James. This took someone literally 3.5 seconds. It's selling for $1,700. Of course, there are a million examples of this, but I just like that one in particular because it's particularly crappy. There's a way to go here and
I mean, you're going to hurt an artist's feeling.
All right, well, I'm just going to buy something here.
It was number 23.
Oh yeah, this one's $2,300. So
maybe yours is not as rare.
Yeah, we'll talk about rareness.
There you go.
Which is another aspect of some of this.
That's gorgeous.
How we need to know about some of the value of that.
I love it. I love it.
I'm gonna make this like my screensaver or some. I mean, maybe I'll put on my phone as my screensaver. Something it has to be like I want it to be awesome. I'm gonna buy it now. Wallet link pairs with Coinbase wallet.
You could try that.
Now, yes, we'll talk about different platforms you can pay in different ways in different wallets. We're gonna try wallet link. Continue with wallet link.
Okay, now you need to scan that with your Coinbase wallet.
Okay, so when I do that, I go to send.
It's a link. It actually in the wallet, there's like a little tab where you find, say, link to.
Okay, on my phone.
Let's see here, I can find it.
Oh, I see it. I see it. It's a little QR code.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, here we go. It worked. It's going. It says now buy or transfer, earn interest.
So now you want to click buy now. See what happens if you click buy now.
Oh, here we
There
go.
you go. Yep, check out. Look at that.
Now I am getting a little message.
And it's going in the blockchain.
It says miner fees are high right now. The miner fee is not paid to Coinbase and applies to all transactions sent on the Ethereum blockchain. Miner fees are high right now due to blockchain congestion. So what does that mean? I'm going to get screwed in fees. That's basically what that means, right?
That's part of, you're going to illustrate to our listeners or viewers.
Oh, the miner
concept
fee.
of
Okay, I'm
gas.
looking at it now. So the fee for the miner fee. And James, do you want to, what exactly do you want to talk about that? That's the charge that we are paying in order for Ethereum, right? The Ethereum miners to incorporate this token into the blockchain. Is that right?
Basically.
And we talk about tokens and blockchain in our first episode. So you want to listen to that if that sounded like absolute Greek to you. Now on my phone, I can just hit the pay button now that I've linked it through this QR code to OpenSea from my Coinbase wallet. And I'm pressing pay. It's doing a Face ID. It started the transaction. That Ethereum network is processing the transaction.
They want you to put in your. Yeah.
But shouldn't it know this already from me? But maybe it doesn't.
Well, it'll go into your wallet, but I think they'll email you once it actually is in your. Oh, that's so one of the things actually that occurs to me is most often with these NFTs, you need the software wallet. The reason you need the software wallet is you actually have to have the NFT somewhere.
Right. So it goes into
you can't have it in your exchange. It's actually, that's why you have it goes into the software wallet.
I mean, so the wallet is the actual token, which we did talk about earlier.
Yeah.
Which is where you're storing the actual piece of art as the piece that actually is going into the blockchain. This like whatever the code is that indicates your ownership over it. Cool. Well, it has gone through. I'm going to wait for the transaction to, oh, there we go, succeeded. I now own that, which is pretty amazing. I'm going to use it all the time. It will probably be an actual absolute waste of money, but I'm glad that we're able to show our listener viewers how to buy a piece of art. I hope it wasn't at all efficient. Let's just like say that right out. However, other platforms work
Well,
differently.
we'll be efficient after you edit.
Well, I'm saying the process is it's not efficient no matter how we edit this. But we should just mention, and as we in closing, two things. One, different platforms do this differently. So this is one way, just to, if you're interested in OpenSea, which is like this huge marketplace that's a conglomeration of all the other marketplaces, this is the way to do it. But if you want to go to a specific marketplace like Nifty Gateway, or others, that some of those you can do it more directly. You just put in a credit card. We'll talk about that in episode 2. Episode 2, this is my second point. Listen to our podcast, which will be released shortly, and we'll go over all these marketplaces, and we'll actually talk about some of the artists that we know and love and that we think are good investments. And that's going to be a running theme moving forward. And episode 3 will be our conundrums episode, as we've mentioned several times. Thank you to everybody. Thanks, James, for being very, helpful in a very limited way.